Look, I get it. Building trees in Minecraft is hard, but if you give me a few minutes of your precious time, I promise you the quality of your trees will at least improve by 1%. First, let's talk about what every single woman claims matters most: length. What I meant to say was size. Never mind, that sounds even worse. I mean height. You see, when it comes to custom trees in Minecraft, we can separate them into 3 different categories. So, to simplify, let's do as Starbucks does and call them tall, grande and venti, all of which roughly translate to big. To my Italian viewers, yes, I know what you're thinking, and you can keep that to yourself. Now, if you find these categories confusing, you can take it up with Starbucks. Starting with tall, which, reminder, means small, these are usually around 4 to 12 blocks, meaning the smallest of these would feel more like a tall bush than a proper tree. These trees are great for detailing your smaller builds, like the stunning dirt huts you keep making. Now grande, on the other hand, would be between 10 and 30 blocks. This is my personal go-to style, which of course makes it the best one. The size is great for creating natural looking forests that feel dense but still keep that feeling of open air. If you don't get what I'm talking about, you might just need to go outside a bit more often. For your venti trees, I recommend about 30 to 60 blocks, which makes the term venti even more confusing. Luckily, most of you guys are American and therefore don't speak other languages. Anyhow, these are the very classic, very big fantasy trees. Although these might give the most freedom, they also tend to be taller than your actual mountains, which could lead to some scaling issues. This, however, brings me to the branches. You see, when it comes to making organic branches, size does in fact matter. It's easier to make nice branches on bigger trees. This is why smaller trees require more detail to look like a proper tree, and is also why the vanilla trees look more like, well, this. So, when making your tall trees, you should pull out every single trick in the book. Use fences, walls, slabs, stairs, buttons, and even more fences. Be careful though, you still want to leave rooms for those leaves we'll be adding later. For the other 2 tree types, you could still use the same branch techniques, but they are not nearly as necessary. Remember, the bigger the tree, the more time you need to spend on detailing the branches. And I know, if you have time to watch this video, you probably have nothing better to do, but trust me when I say that when making a lot of trees, you want it to be over with as soon as possible. However, I do still recommend using something like fences for the tips of your branches. But like anything I've said so far, it's optional. Man, this truly is a very useful tutorial, isn't it? Now the last piece of the puzzle, the leaves. Trees generally have their leaves on the outside because, like you should have learned in high school, leaves need sunlight to do photosynthesis. So, look at the outside bits of your branches and add leaves onto them, instead of everywhere like this guy did. This might take some time to get the hang of, but I'm sure you're capable enough. And if not, just go to Planet Minecraft and download the thousands of pre-made trees. Yes, making trees can be just that easy. If you're still watching and want to do some more advanced stuff, here are some other things to consider. Use grass instead of leaves, or a combination of both to add more fluff. If you're adding roots, keep in mind these should generally go just as wide as your branches. Be sure to play with the thickness of your stem depending on the type and size of your tree. Use actual trees as examples. I know this one is crazy smart. You'd be surprised though how many people, like me, forget to actually look at a reference. And last but not least, remember, it's not the size that matters, it's what you do with it.